Hello, welcome to this webinar PDM, the Essential Foundation of Good Design. My name is Theo Butt. As we are going through this presentation, I want you to think about what are your design challenges? And this is an intentional question right here. We are talking about design challenges. You might think, but I thought I was going to learn about data management. Well, yes, and also yes. I want you to think about design challenges because managing data is a design challenge. I know you might have thought design challenges if you're trying to finish a loft, that fillet, that sweep, assembly constraint, or just that dimensioning on your drawing. Those are all design challenges. But managing data is just as much a design challenge. And what we see here is a report that we ran in 2019, and we asked top performing companies what keep them up at night. What are they spending a lot of time on? And look at that, the second one. It's wasting time on searching for design data and finding the right information. It's all about that, working on wrong data, the ability to reuse it. What I want to show today is tools that are right inside of the Autodesk portfolio, inside of our PDM solution, which is Vault, specifically Vault Pro. Is what we are going to talk about today, and how it actually can help you with your design challenges. Because after all of the geometry is done, all the chamfers and arcs and fillets, everything, you still have to manage the data. Let's talk about the acronym. We love acronyms. PDM is the one that we talk about a lot. It stands for Product Data Management, right in the middle of the screen. And it goes by a couple of other different terms. You'll hear single source of truth, you'll hear things like life cycles, concurrent engineering, global teams. All of these are rights. There are none that are wrong. This is what PDM gives you. This is a sum of buzzwords, a wordy cloud of different PDM topics. PDM, simply put, helps you manage, track, and organize. The data that you create is valuable. It's more than just the data that you create inside your CAD or design system. There's all the associated data. There's the Word documents, spreadsheets, PDFs, everything that comes along with a design. The good news is that PDM is there to help you manage it all. In fact, it's not there to hinder you, it just lives there as it can integrate right within any of the applications that you are already using. Vault integrates with over 30 Autodesk design tools to provide data management. So what does it do? Okay, allow me to explain the necessity of PDM like Vault. Upon a file check-in, a number of things happen. The file, if changed, is versioned. This is key. We don't version just for the sake of versioning. Indexing and property extraction is also key. It's how we find data later. The file is classified by a category. Now it knows how to behave. Properties are updated. And this is how Vault helps keep everything in line. Views, whether it's PDF or DWF, this is the step needed to enable others to view the file in 3D or 2D. And in a multi-site setup, files are now in a queue to be replicated and balanced between sites. Another vendor may say, we understand Autodesk files, but they don't understand iParts, iAssemblies, frame generator, substitute parts, or even our latest model states in Inventor 2022. These are very specific areas from Inventor, and only Vault understands it all. Vault can start on a single site, But what if you have aspirations to grow? Vault Pro offers the ability to truly go big and go global. It handles remote file stores, replicate sites. Vault is scalable for any team size and enables multi-site collaboration. If you have different departments, divisions, locations that are spread across different geographies, people can work collaboratively as if they were in the same location. So, what else does PDM help you with? It's productivity. Let's talk about design reuse. Vault is there to help you out. And one of the biggest ways is copy design. This is the same as accept. So imagine you have a design that is tried and true. Or maybe you have a baseline design. And then you need to make something that is almost the same but different. Within the copy design tool, you take a design and copy or build another part of the design out. Copy some of the parts out, move them over, they get new names, new drawings, and they land in a new place even inside of Vault. You've hit the ground running with most of the data that was out there, plus some of the new data that might be unique for that new customer, new prospect, or the new job. Copy design is one of those tools that once you've seen it, you wouldn't even know what to do without it. Another way that Vault frees up designers from manual and repetitive work is with task automation. If you are manually creating PDFs of released drawings to share with others in engineering or purchasing or manufacturing or even outside your organization, you can stop wasting all that time and effort. With automation, the automation engine in Vault, you can automate PDF publishing as well as other tasks such as batch plotting, data transfer, file conversion, and much more to save time. In fact, Vault has a way of adapting to your work. You can train it. We know everybody has their own structure, and it means folder structure. So, how do you organize things? You have your own numbering, even revisions. People have different revision schemes. It might be numeric, or then alpha, or inverted. You have your own lifecycle methods, or your own terminology. Teach it the words you use, this happens, then this happens, and by using centralized data management like Vault, even if you're global and you have a dispersed team, Vault is making sure everyone is using the same source of data. Users can create new design files and have Vault automatically assign file names without having to leave the design application. Simply define your company numbering standard, and users can automatically name their files upon saving the files. This functionality even integrates with the advanced design application functions such as Autodesk Inventor's frame generator and design accelerators. Another way that Vault helps is with duplicate search and reduction abilities. If you've ever worked on a design and you were thinking, have I ever done this before? Or I thought we just did something like this. Well, you may have a similar design that you've already made and it's already approved. We find that if we could just reduce the number of duplicates inside a data management system, we could realize a saving between £3,200 and £16,000 per item, based on a recent study of the Aberdeen Group. And what does that mean for this item or that part that went all the way through the design process? Somebody has looked at it, analyzed it, they use it, they mock up it, they maybe pull out another part number, they even sourced it, they machine it, all that work. If the design you were starting is the same as something else out there, that can be a significant cost saving. Vault automatically tracks changes, maintain file versions, and capture the entire history of your design as you work. As we talk about release management, everyone has their own word for release. You might say ready for production or simply released. You might use different words. Vault has some of this out of the box, and of course you could change the names and make a complete new lifecycle definition. Likewise with revisions. So you might use the ABC. You might start with a dash or a 0. Vault has some that get you started, but you can always tailor it the way you want it. You can actually upload a custom revision scheme into Vault and it will take it from there. If your data already exists in legacy and everything is not a revision A, you can actually start in where that file is. So if the file is already in D, you can start with the next iteration at E. Vault adapts the way you are already working. Another repetitive task is manually updating the revision block in a drawing. Using the Vault revision block command, this is automatically populated and it will update any time a revision bump is made inside Vault. Revisions tables can be populated in Inventor drawings and AutoCAD drawings. This makes sure that what you are seeing on the print is the same as what you see in Vault. It updates automatically when revisions change. Another great benefit for AutoCAD users, the Sheetset Manager, is data management that sits inside AutoCAD that you can use in conjunction with Vault. It's even better if you use it with Vault. Sheetsets are a great way to organize all your project drawings in a single package. Vault simply enhances this workflow in a few key ways. With the Sheetset open, you can see the current status and what sheets are actively being worked on by other members of the design team. The overall structure of the Sheetset is mirrored inside Vault, so you can see how the package looks like without actually opening the file. The properties of the Sheetsets are also indexed and searchable. The same lightweight files created for drawings are created for Sheetsets, as they can be opened, reviewed and markupped. Vault also gives some extended benefit to Inventor in that you can actually see the data management painted on your model. You can ask any type of question. Is this controlled by a change order? Yes or no? Who is it who checked out the data? What is the life cycle state? What material is used? You can map any property on your model. This is visual data management. Let's talk about reducing lost documentation. What happens when you check a file in? This is where it grabs all the properties. This makes it easier to find your files again. Vault can be trained and tuned to index and search decades of old AutoCAD files and their title blocks. All you need to do is tell the name of the title block and add it to the index. All the metadata and the properties in the title blocks are extracted and now searchable. The job processor is a separate application that reserves queued jobs and pulls them from the job server to process them. Since the job processor is installed among the Vault client, any workstation with the appropriate edition of Vault can be used to process jobs. Let it do the heavy lifting. Property synchronization, automatically create secondary documents like PDFs. Vault comes with out-of-the-box jobs, but you can create your own. Think about create a flat pattern when you release a sheet metal part. The job processor helps you automate tasks. Let's talk about how we can respond quicker to our customers and suppliers. What you see in the top screen capture, we are inside Vault, where you're probably already thinking about finishing a design, revisions, life cycles. Is it done? Or do we need approval? From there you can actually say, I'd like to share the view. Now, If it's a 2D or a 3D, it doesn't matter. You can share the view. This renders the files out and send it out to a web page. This is Autodesk Viewer. And then you get a link. During the process, keep in mind that you're not actually sending the 3D file. You're not sending the intellectual property, you're just sending a view of it. 2D or 3D is just the view. Nobody can go and download it or take it. The idea here is if somebody needs to provide feedback, they can do it within a browser without a need to install any application. What happens if you send that link to the customer, supplier, or anybody who you're working with? It puts it into a secure location. The visual representation is there, and now you can start to communicate with it. Vault also helps you collaborate with external stakeholders beyond your firewall. For example, it can be challenging if you're going back and forth with your customer or supplier using email, FTP file transfers, Dropbox, or OneDrive. Those tools are not cat aware, and information can be lost or miscommunicated. There is too much room for errors and lost time due to file size issues, number of documents, or disconnected information in different places. Instead, you can simply use a secure, cloud-based app called Fusion Team with Vault to share design files. External collaborators, like customers and suppliers, that you authorize can access, share data and collaborate with you. Vault will take care of keeping them up to date and working with you on the latest versions of your project files. It's that simple. Let's talk about the bill of materials. We understand what goes on in CAD. So the story at a high level is that the engineer puts all of the design and intent into a CAD model. Now, the way that you structure it, the way you build assemblies and sub-assemblies, it could be because that's how the product is to be built and assembled, designed, produced. So you put all of the design intent to a CAD model, and Inventor does a great job at this. It's there, you check it in, all into Vault. And there it is. You're looking at the complete assembly. So for instance, this 3D printer, you're looking at a complete assembly. There's all of the nested components and everything underneath. The hard work put into part numbers, making sure you have the right components, content center, parts, all the libraries, everything is there. And it's nested. It's secure inside the best place for it, which is Vault Pro. Vault has the ability to take that model and mine out, extract all that information, and we build what is known as an item. That is what we just talked about. And it understands all the nested substructures. It's an assembly inside an assembly, inside an assembly, inside an assembly. Maybe it has library components, or in some cases you will notice that there is a PC board on there. We can read information from AutoCAD Electrical and put that together inside one complete bill of material. And that's the power of this, because we're inside one application in Vault Professional, the CAD files on the one side and the item is on the other, and they are joined together. Notice we get things like quantity, we get the position number, we get the row number. Vault simply knows all. It knows what's inside the CAD file and it collects it for you. Once you have items in Vault, they can be used in PLM, ERP and other business systems. If you use different CAD, that's okay. Everything you check into Vault is a recipe for your product. Your drawings, your design, your CAD data become your structured engineering bill of material to get it ready for the next stage of its journey. Let's summarize. Vault PDM offers you a way to keep your data safe and secure and accessible. It helps you automate processes and it helps you streamline the collaboration that you've always wanted.